Welcome to Light the Path, the podcast that brings you inspiring stories of courage, strength, and faith. Listen in as we explore how God's love and grace can inspire and motivate us to overcome life's challenges and light the path forward.
Hello, Pathfinders. How are y'all? What is going on? It's your host, Deborah the Queen, and I'm so glad you're here. Make sure that you're following on all social media platforms as well as any audio platforms so that way you can get it on audio. But if you're here on YouTube, thank you so much. Make sure that you subscribe and then also hit the notification bell so that way you will be notified when new episodes are available. Ooh, I got a good one for y'all today. It's a solo episode, so this one will not be long, but it will be impactful, okay? Ooh, this one good. Here we go. And listen, season 5 is all about God's grace. Have you been seeing that theme on and on and on? And today is not any different. Today, we're going to be talking about grace and the truth. Nobody is coming to save you. I'm just going to let that sink in. Grace and the truth. Nobody is coming to save you. In this episode, I will unpack the sobering truth that while God's grace is freely given, it doesn't replace personal responsibility. Okay? Instead, grace invites us into truth, growth, and movement. We don't just sit still waiting. We rise up because grace has already made a way. Now, for those who need a little bit Bible with it, because, you got to have a little Bible with it. It's our blueprint for how we live our everyday lives. So listen, follow with me to John 5, verse 8 and 9. And this is NIV version. Then Jesus said to him, "Get up, pick up your mat, and walk." At once the man was cured. He picked up his mat and walked. Jesus heals with grace, but he commands with truth. The man had to respond. Now here it is. I'm going to give you a little story time, okay? So once upon a time, a very long time ago, probably over a decade ago, okay? Your girl was codependent. I was a codependent kind of person, and I just didn't do things on my own because I had somebody to do it for me. And I had got so codependent, it was just out of control. So fast forward, I am not that person anymore. Because of God's grace, God's grace, healing, and therapy. Thank God I am no longer codependent. So I want to share a story. This is a very simple story. And you may be like, what's going on? You independent, you be here, you be doing this. Yes, but before I was not like that. I used to brag like, ooh, I never had to drive around like long distance or anything like that. Like I had license, but I never had to drive. Before they coined the passenger princess, I was her, okay? I didn't have to do any of that. I used to boast that, I file taxes, but I don't have to sit there going through all the paperwork. All I used to just do is come in when it's time to sign and just leave. I never, I would take my car to get oil change. But if they had a question or something like that, don't call me until it's time to pay. I do put gas in my car unless I'm with my guy, then he will pump. So I'm just saying that just to draw a little bit of a picture of how I used to be. And so fast forward, I am no longer like that. I ain't capital independent, okay? I am independent. I still might need a little help. I still go to AutoZone like, I need help. So I'm not like hot wiring cars and doing my own oil changes or anything like that, but I have become self-sufficient and just basically more reliant on God than somebody else in human form. Okay, so let me fast forward. So one, grace reveals truth. Grace isn't just comfort, it's clarity. Okay, you have a clear mind. Grace, God's grace, opens our eyes to the truth. We are called to rise up, act, and follow Him. So it breaks denial and it brings honest reflection about where we are and what needs to be changed. So I had to look at myself. Okay, what do I need to change? And I made the adjustments. Two, grace doesn't eliminate responsibility. God's grace is not a rescue from responsibility. It's the reason we take responsibility. We've been empowered, not excused. We've been empowered, but not excused. No one else is coming to live our life for us, for you. You're here to live your own life, okay? And so the other day, one of my vehicles was having difficulties and I had to jump the car. I've never jumped a car. I've seen it done before because I was just sitting on the passenger side waiting, or I would call roadside. But even though I do have roadside, I did not call roadside. I said, you know what, God, we are going to do this. I said, it's too many resources out there for me not to know how to do this. So your girl got online, got onto in the internet and figured out how to jump the car. But guess what? I ain't had no cables. So I'm sitting there, okay, this where the positive, this where the negative. Okay. I ain't had the cables. I ain't had the equipment. So that brings me to my next point. Truth tells you to get up. Biblical truth never tells us to wait passively, but we have to get up and do something. So I had to go ahead, get up. I needed the car to be jumped. And so I had to get up and when you use the other car, got some jumper cables, knew what to do. And then I had to actually, it was a little more, not necessarily complicated, but for me, being a novice, not knowing what I'm doing, first time doing this, where my battery is, there's another, I don't want to say like an alternate battery too. But where my positive was not where the regular battery was. So I had to look that up. So I was like, okay, to look up my specific car, what do I need to do? I did that, got that. Okay. So then grace stepped in. It gives you power. It gives you power, not just peace. Because at first, after I got all the information, I was at peace. But then it gave me power to go ahead and move forward. God's grace brings us peace in our struggles, but it also brings us power to overcome. It strengthens us to keep going, not sit back and hope someone else fixes the situation. The old me would have went to O'Reilly Auto, whoever, sat there with my hood up, got out like I was trying to, and then let somebody else do it. Not this other night. Your girl did it herself, and I didn't do it in their parking lot. And so I was thankful for that. And so I had called one of my brothers, and I told my brother what had happened. One of my brothers, what happened with the car earlier in the day, but I did not have time immediately to go jump the car. So I had to wait till the end of the day. That's why I didn't, stay at O'Reilly's or anything or AutoZone, because it was sort of dark. And I'm like, probably the creepers out now. I don't need to be with the creepers. So I went, got the cables, looked at the diagram to be able to jump the car. And then I rode it for about 20 or 30 minutes so the alternator can charge back up. See, your girl learning stuff, doing it on my own, okay? And God gave me that grace to be able to do that. Not only the peace in the situation, because I felt a little bit, it was chaotic, because I'm like, man, I need this car to be running because it needs to do other things. It got going, right? I rode it. I drove for 20 or 30 minutes. And then I never went back to my brother saying, hey, this is what happened. And so at the end of the night, he was following up with me. Hey, what's going on with the car? What do you need to do? You know, like he wanted to know how could he help? And I said, I'm in the car now. He's like, wait, what? Who jumped the car? I said, I did. He said, I had to write it down. I did know you could do it, but I didn't know you were going to do it. So my final point is, you're not waiting, you're sent. We're not stuck because God hasn't moved. We're stuck when we don't realize we've been sent. Grace already opened the door. Now it's time to walk through it. I'm telling you, I felt so proud to jump that car, to do it the right way. I was godly proud for the grace, the power, and to be able to navigate through it. So that's what I wanted to talk to you today about. I just want to encourage you that grace tells you the truth in love. No one else is coming to save you because God already did. Now it's your turn to walk in what he gave you. Remember, Pathfinders, that sharing our stories is not only empowering, it can help light the path.